seconds remaining. 5 seconds. Radiant team, Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Level Talon.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Game.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Turnamen.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Razor.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Monkey King.
10 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team banned.
Is gonna be to the safe lane.
Yeah, I firmly believe they've removed everything in the game that makes Kunkka unplayable. Like, I think it's all these early round bans, mostly the Doom and the Timber. I think all these other matchups have their merits, but what the Blade Mail Radiance build also does for Kunkka, not just about farming, but in fights, you can kind of just wander around and be really useful. Sometimes Kunkka has like awkward times hitting his type on people, and it gives you a lot of different methods to scale into the late game. And then, of course, if you get to that late game, you can disassemble that Radiance into a Rapier. He's like one of the few Radiance buyers that actually likes Rapier a lot. I think this is a sick Enigma game for Miero. It gives you a reliable lockdown on Slark on the map. I wouldn't even be afraid if he just like called Yoka early mid game, because these Slarks that are out for their team can just be so obnoxious on the map. I also think the Razor will struggle against it in lane, assuming that it's Razor carry. For all I know, they're going to flex it to Razor 3 because it lanes against Kunkka to follow it. I don't necessarily think I like that. I feel like if they run standard lanes on Flipster Talon, they're going to get rolled, and that's why I'm theory crafting what else they could do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the Razor offlane. I feel like that hero is too greedy to be played in the offlane. Like, he needs too many items from there. Like, right now, they don't have much team fight, right? They desperately need an offlaner, I think. Like, the traditional offlane hero to play around, right? Unless Monkey King snowballs right now, they don't really have anything to play around.
And they're also showing their lanes. Like, I don't like this Razor Monkey because it shows that Monkey is going to be played most likely from the safe lane, from the mid lane, Razor from the safe lane, which means that Monkey from that mid lane has some bad matchups. That's why they're removing Queen of Pain as well, having that flex, and also removing Terrorblade because of what happened in game number 1. And I'm also not the biggest fan because you're going to be fighting into both. All of your damage is physical. These two heroes, they kind of rely on using the static link, killing the hero pretty much instantly. Monkey King with the Wukong's command as well. And then you have Pugna, who's going to be easily countering both Monkey King and Razor, and you also have potentially Enigma. I think this is maybe even a good game to consider going for something like a Crimson Guard on Enigma, because most of the damage is physical on their side.
It's a lot of pressure. Like these three heroes, Enigma, Bane. I mean, actually, all 4 of their heroes are really strong early. They're really strong laners. They need basically no items to pressure. It starts really early. The pressure onto the towers, and this one is pretty much the same. Same can be said for Death Prophet, right? Just 5 really strong early game heroes. They do scale as well, but the early game pressure coming out of these heroes is insane.
There's going to be a lot of towers falling fairly fast.
Yeah, I was literally thinking, like, is there a ranged hero that can so Monkey King that can also pressure the tower? I'm like, oh yeah, GPK is the one player that's picked Death Prophet mid. I think this is a sick pick because Pugna Death Prophet's always been a combo. You have a hero that you can rely, like, that you want to use your decrypt on because she'll deal all of her damage while she's decrypt. And yeah, I love this pick. I think Bettbom has like this is a schlacking in my opinion.
But hold on though, like, I think if they can survive the lanes, their lineup is a bit one-dimensional. I don't know exactly what they're talking about, but if there's something that can outrange these heroes so that it's hard for them to get in and cast their spells, right? Like the DP, if there's something that can't really run in to Flipster Talon, if there's a hero like that, I was thinking Arc Warden. Maybe that's a long shot. Mikoto, Arc Warden with Vessel, I think it's not bad.
Even more physical damage. I was never a big fan when like 2 of your cores have the same type of damage. This is not like mixed type of a damage. This is straight up physical damage coming out from all
Who's playing what here though?
It's offlane Lycan.
Isn't Kunkka just
Kunkka's just gonna destroy that
You just have to
matchup.
cleave on
Unless he's playing the Spirit Wolf, you don't have anything else
That's
to
next
kill.
level.
But I also want to touch upon damage mitigation in this game. You have Kunkka, you have Enigma with the innate ability. So allies who are close to Enigma, 500 distance, they are taking less damage as well. And if you're making Enigma tanky with his facet, it also means that you're going to be spawning more Eidolons. Both is going to making you more tanky, so there's going to be even more Eidolons on top of that. I think this one is like, I'm not sure what Flipster Talon actually need to do to win this.
Okay, so I think that, not that I disagree, I do think that it looks really scary for Talon, the lineup they're up against, but the Lycan, this is a good Lycan game if he gets to the point, right, where he gets the helmet Overlord. Bane does nothing, you get the Nullifier for the Pugna. DP doesn't like Lycan, he doesn't, he gets swarmed by the summons, right? I'm not sure how they're gonna plan on like getting through the laning phase with his Lycan, because maybe he just gets destroyed by the Kunkka. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, we'll see.
We will see. It's going to be an exciting game, but the laning stage, as you heard from our panelists, is especially important if Talon want to have a shot in this game. Let's see how it'll play out with some Sven and Sinner and some Puck Jam Pandas.
Now, your admiral is on board.
Prepare for battle!
To talk about Game 3 between Bettbom and Talon. Sunsfan here with Cinderin. Where do we begin, man? My goodness, we have a really aggressive push lineup from Bettbom. You got the Pugna, Enigma summons, Death Prop,
30 seconds to battle.
and on the other side, tons of physical damage. Tons of evasiveness, if you want to call it that. 23 Savage picking Razor again after getting completely dumpstered last game. We're seeing Jokum Slark again. Makoto on the Monkey King mid. And of course, the big story is WS on Lycan for the offlane. Just really interesting draft both sides.
I'm theorizing I'd see Lycan today, but I was saying it for Miro earlier that perhaps he was going to bring it out since we've seen Helm of the Overlord make a little bit of a comeback. We've seen Enigma offlane, we've seen Beastmaster, and this is the third hero that was popular about a year back. I think it was interesting to hear the panel talk about this, and Misery to be a little bit of a devil's advocate here, because I kind of share the sentiment overall of their conclusions that this is a game that Bettbom could technically win minute 20, but if they fail to do so down the stretch, I have a hard time seeing them win it late. It's a lot more polarizing than a lot of the other drafts we've seen where, yeah, both teams okay lanes and then okay late game, etc. The main thing that stood out to me was I think Bettbom's drafting style in this game is actually to counter Slark out of everything, which this is an interesting idea to solve the problem that Jokum proposes when he plays this for Slark. The whole map control aspect of Slark, the way he's super disruptive and annoying, doesn't matter if you're just pushing as 5, right?
Yeah, like that's true.
The hero doesn't really do very much in those exact situations. It's more when the game devolves into this play the map, everybody's farming, game gets slower, then he's one of the best supports. But looking at a Bettbom team that just looking to win really, really fast with a couple of auras, I think Crimson Guard is S tier this game. You're going to probably buy additional, maybe buy Vlad's as well in your Enigma, or at least the drums. And on top of that, at the very least, your bottom lane for Bettbom should be mega easy. I don't see them doing anything here with Slark Lycan, probably the worst lane of this tournament.
That's like, saying something.
This lane is awful, okay? And they know what they're getting themselves into. They're willingly picking a losing lane because they like the long-term prospects of Lycan, which I totally see, but it's a gambit, right? This is a dangerous thing to do against this level of opposition. You can get away with it.
Well, that's a start.
Could win later.
Kill on with the stick. And for the Lycan, as we have a pause, WS takes the Alpha Wolves, which is at 6 levels, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Wolves. So the 2 extra, let's read them to become familiarized, of course. Level 5 wolves gain Hamstring, which empowers their attacks to root enemies. And they take more physical damage. Level 6 wolves, Hightail, active ability that gives wolves phase movement, evasion, moves, and attack speed. So they become a real pushing menace at that point.
And they're also the thing we saw the Alpha Wolves do when Lycan was a bit more popular a couple months back was go Alpha Wolves and then run at supports. And they were just defenseless. And you can see this is part of the problem with this lane. What you want to do, you're playing against this, when you're playing such a weak lane, you want to pull waves, but Bane is the king preventing that. At the very least for Talon, they do manage to hard camp pull, but Bettbom stabilizes here, bringing the waves together. And as expected, Heritage is already starting to build a meaningful advantage against WS down here.
Only 9 last hits so far for the Lycan, but you can look at the other lane. In 23 Savage has less. He has 9 right now, so quite far behind. Jokum trying to get this Lotus. He will get it, and now the pounce connects onto the Kunkka as WS. If they can get this kill, Cinder, my goodness. He popped Fairy Fire to survive. Kataomi gets away with just a sliver of HP as well.
Yeah, that's basically one type of context of fight that you can win as the dire side in this lane. If Kunkka keeps running over and fighting a Slark that's just trading with him 1 versus 1, gaining a lot of stacks, you can get overwhelmed. That got scary just because they wanted the Lotus, but they didn't get the kill. The dust settles here. Or does it? Well, now there's the howl.
Yeah, Torrent's gonna down this push, but you get the pounce from a Jokum is gonna set up first blood onto WS against the worst lane of the tournament, according to Cinderin.
I mean, I'll tell you this much: Bettbom are disappointed. This should not be happening, and I will stand by that.
The worst.
It's like
the worst lane of the tournament, according to Cinderin, dominating now.
You know what's worse than the lane? You're the worst.
You really put this jinx to the test. I mean, it is powerful.
I know
my
curses can be strong. I mean, I can't. I actually am a little bit in disbelief that they found a kill level 3. It's just not. And it's a snowball effect, right? From the fight at the Lotus pool that was unnecessary to take for the Kunkka. They lost so many resources. It was such an unfavorable trade that before they had additional resources coming in, you could go for that dive. What a play from Talon to not the opportunity to even make that move. It's very easy in a lane like this to just get into the mindset of let's just farm, but even at this level like this are going to happen. People overplay a little bit sometimes, get out of position.
Arrow, pops the Lotus to survive. As a pause comes out, GPK needs to change his pants.
Why?
We'll reconnect soon.
Why does he need to change his pants?
Because Miero almost died.
Oh. He's very invested in how his Enigma is doing.
Oh, Miero's he's a very likable individual. You know, he's a good kid. Not much about the rest, though. You know.
All right. Nice bias.
And through Savage. It's out under the cover of the tier 1. CS suffering, along with W, despite getting that first blood, of course, which surely helped. And the question for me is, how fast does the nullifier come online?
That's the item of the game for the Dire here for sure. Lycan is up lit.
Yes, indeed.
So WS not planning the Dom, which would be an obvious choice against this support duo. You're playing against Pugna Bane. You love having more units. They can't kill them off at all. The only hero really cleaving in this game is the Kunkka. Nobody else will kill off your swarm on the Lycan. Man, what a dream start. I say that as it's 1-0, but honestly,
Dire's top
dream.
tower is
This is a lane you were not expected to do well into the game. Miero will probably get 23 Savage here with a little bit of help. Maybe not. The Wolves.
Blood Grenade applied to 23. He's getting chased by the Eidolon. He's going to survive. That's Miero. Going to get shackled, but there's not going to be any follow-up. Miero is going to die to these Wolves. It's going to be close. They do kill them off in time. Pops the salve as well. Makoto, though, bigger kill. The one lane we haven't discussed yet. He gets the kill onto GPK.
Yeah, the rotation in from Jokum. This guy on Slark is a beast. I mean, they've upgraded it now in their draft. They've recognized this is maybe our best pick. Feels like Jokum just doesn't miss on this hero, and he wasn't even getting assist credit on that, so maybe that was just a straight up solo kill for Kodo. Unexpected. to say the least, onto DP, but this is a game of surprises.
Well, I want to mention another surprise. You mentioned the armlet for WS is going to pull that. They get the ethereal off. Makoto, though, will come in to finish the job. Save dead next. Nice rotations. Talon. Better the 4v2, and now the 7-minute wisdom as well.
And this is just flawless from them.
They're going to get both. What a start.
This is more, at this point, it's more than you could have for. This is actually just one of those dream starts. 4-1, both wisdoms.
Here's the solo we missed, and it was quite standard.
Yeah, just the rune.
Didn't have Nightmare?
I guess just got surprised by the damage rune.
Oh.
I don't know. Either way, Talon with a great start to this game, and let's remember, we were calling this a polarized draft where Bettbom are very committed to the early game. Sure. Let's go. It's going to be hard to put the pressure.
Does not find what they came for, so GPK shrugs off the Wukong's command. I wanted to mention, again, you said the armlet for Lycan. He's buying Mask of Madness first.
Dire's bottom tower.
Am I missing something?
This is just the build you can go on the, especially carry Lycan when that is in fashion.
Very cool.
Yeah. This is a hero that doesn't have to use any spells during the fight, right? You pop all your stuff and then you go in.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It doesn't matter that you're silent.
Exorcism by GPK. Makoto, of course, without his ult. Cuckoo makes his way over, level 5, though. Now we start to see Boom's lineup being put to good use. Got the Nether Blasts with the Exorcism. This is a dead tower. This reminds me, I mean, have pros actually been doing this? It reminds me of old, like really old pub builds. Mask of Madness, like Death Zone. That's 23 Savage gonna take another blast to the face. Crepify as well. Niero in range for the Malefice, and that's an easy pick-off. Kiritich wasn't even needed here.
I'd say it's uncommon on offlane Lycan, but it's not a novel idea in Pro Dota to run Lycan with
maybe it's just been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah. And I wonder how much, because of his good stock, he might have gone for a different build if the lane did not go as well.
He saw 23 Savages last game. He's like, all right, I'm going to play carry, guys, from the off lane. Don't worry about me.
The Dire's poor.
23 in the meantime has even begun working on his Maelstrom, so definitely in struggle city right now.
Yeah. In spite of all the kills that Talon got early, they would not have the gold. After the misstep bottom is still out for WS 600. In addition, the Razor is, as you mentioned, doing quite poorly. 23 has some ground to cover.
Yeah, but Lacoste said it in the panel. This is a very one-dimensional Talon, especially when it comes to the damage department. So you mentioned the Crimson. Sure, we're going to be seeing the Shivas as well as that's a dead Bane Elemental. Will Nightmare himself, but do much here.
Oh, nice little regen run for Jokum. He was running out of resources.
And I assume an Assault Cuirass for Kunkka at some point.
I mean, you buy every
go for all of it.
You buy every armor item in this game, I think.
Lotus, perhaps. Yes. Maybe not.
Well, all the team armor items. I don't think the individual armor items necessarily. Is Blade Mail good here? Probably not particularly.
We see it on Kunkka pretty regularly, but
yeah. And without a doubt, Radiance, of course, right? That's, you have to have that on Kiritich. There's no discussion. So he'll get that. But yeah, I would definitely expect every armor item. I think Vlad's is worth it. The question is who's going to buy that on Bettbom?
Oh no. Well, hide it. That only dies to the soldiers. Bane actually pretty decent against the Monkey King in certain situations with that Nightmare, because the old facet, you could leave the Wukong. It didn't really matter.
That's where you can walk him out now.
GPK, oh my goodness, he stuck around knowing that Makoto was in the area. He gets deleted. WS actually gets it with the Wolves, and now a tier 1 tower. So talking about the push from Bettbom, don't forget that Talon also have some push of their own.
With all the expectations we went into this game with, this is such a great position to be in for Talon, because this is the part of the game where things are meant to get the scariest, is the upcoming 10 minutes. So if you win the stage, you're setting the tempo and controlling the map. I have so much faith in this lineup being able to win this game. You're going to activate Jokum, you're going to avoid the death ball,
is under attack.
and set the terms for this mid game. And talked about the Lycan versus Death Prophet matchup. They did that on the panel. If you build Lycan like this with heavy right click, you're going to need a lot of armor. Yeah. Your heroes to survive this onslaught. The good news is you have Enigma and Black Hole against multiple up close and personal heroes. Monkey King, Lycan, and Razor. The time will, if they want to go on the same target, they're naturally going to stack. So I think it'd be a bit of a challenge for Talon is to play the angles, but of course. Yeah, so far good for sure for the side of the Dire.
Okay, spotted out. Jokum just walking by.
Oh, Kataomi eating a lot. Oh, the wolves.
Goodness. Kataomi has Nightmare still for himself, and Brains out. Well, Makoto looking for an assassination.
Yeah, if that was level 6 wolves, he might have.
At level 5 right now.
They can still deal with them for now, but when they get Hightail.
Oh, Wukong's.
He has Arcane Rune. This is not as big of a commitment, but no backup. Might just choose to steal some creeps here, perhaps. We'll see. Waiting for the wolves.
Yeah. Oh my god. That is insane. And now GPK in a lot of trouble. Already at half HP. A couple more right clicks will be. Has to get a little bit of distance here. Cuckoo makes his way over as well. Traps GPK inside the Serpent Wars, but at the very least, you force out an Exo. You force out all this patient.
Huge win. Makoto did all of this by himself almost. Just as Shaman wards needed. Now they're
done yet. Still has that Wukong's command. They get the silence off for GPK, so this won't turn into anything.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Prepify, you're already seeing how powerful it is against the lineup of Talon, which is why we bring up the nullifier and how important the item will be going forward. So Armlet, Mask of Madness for the Lycan, Mr. WS.
I think he's going nullifier next. I'd love to see that. They're creating so much space on the map too. Like, yeah, their loss is there, but in the meantime, the Razor and Lycan were both completely free farming for a minute. Kind of a cost that in the 3v5.
Oh, Nightmare.
No reaction. Jokum can get gripped here.
He can.
Will get gripped here. Do they have a silence?
To cancel. Gets the Boundless onto 2, and Jokum's fine. So another rotation for GPK.
Dude, this space is so good from Talon. This is top shelf stuff.
Makoto on a tree with Shield Rune. The Wolves continue. I mean, Slark and Wolves. Like, how much vision do you get in this game? It is ridiculous. That cleaned up easily, and now WS just going to on the tier 1. He's looking quite good for Talon. Very unusual lineup.
But it doesn't hurt.
Only gonna smoke to here. It feels really good for Shadow Shaman to play with Lycan Wolves. It gives you kill potential that you don't usually have. But you have a lot of lockdown. Wolves do so much damage to the supports that not only can the Wolves scout out so you can X surprise, but they can actually contribute to the kill. Miero, speaking of.
Yeah, he gets X. He gets Serpent warded, and Makoto, another nice Decrepify to save him for now. Of course, he's looking for the Black Hole, but the Boundless Strike finds him. Gets stun locked in the end. As the Wolves onto Kato. The Butler helping out.
Lest we forget, this singular game is actually massively important. Currently in the group stage, Bettbom are 4-1 and Talon are 3-2. So if Talon were to win this game, they would be tied for second.
Yep.
Paravision, of course, in first place with 5. They're likely to stay there. They just need to win one more series. If Bettbom lose this game, then a singular series win will be a guaranteed first place for Pari. No tiebreaker needed for them to stay in upper. And as this looks now, this gets... This gets really, really hard to play for Radiant all. The map troll, Arc, Wolves.
I do have a question. Obviously, it's working out quite well here. This build for the Lycan, Mask of Madness Armlet, like basically playing at position 1. with the alpha. Typically, like, you're losing a level of Howl and Feral Impulse at cost. Right?
It's a bit unusual.
So far,
if you're ahead by this much, I think the logic that he might be going for is he wants to pose so much of a threat himself that it's going to relieve pressure from the other two cores. If he goes more of a utility route, then potentially you run into the issue of, well, if Razor gets gripped, can we actually win the fight? Or you manage to isolate the Monkey King early and kill him.
Space has been given from Talon's move here that he's getting healed up though, and he's going to be able to get the black hole onto the Monkey King. Do they have the follow-up damage? They get the Centaur stomping. Yes, they do. Meanwhile, other side, Bane is lost.
That's massive from save though. That protection off on Miero this time, keep him alive. We're approaching. So by no means is this game over for the side of Bettbom. Let's keep it simple here. You're still very strong when you're together. You're still very good at pushing, and if you execute fights well, things go great. It's the challenge of setting up moves of this kind. That's what's going to be difficult for you, but that time they got it. They effectively baited out the Enigma, had the very quick rotation in from save with the Decrepify, protected him, got off the black hole, and it's going to get a little bit easier soon. Crimson Guard almost complete. Talked about that as the item for this game.
Miero is always going to be something to contend with on the Talon side. They have to worry about him all game long. Makoto is going to get off his ult. Going to be a Bane. Fast kill.
Just Kong for it though.
Yeah, most likely not needed, but it did force out the Kunkka.
Crimson is about to be completed. Lens for Pugna is a mega upgrade as well. You can see in this game save we'll be going the max Decrepify. Sometimes you see Pugnas go 4-1-4. This game, it's a no-brainer. You want to have max range and Decrepify. You want the low cooldown. We're gonna find a good here onto Cuckoo. No follow-up though. The BKBs are being worked on as well. Kunkka and DP, their next items will be just that. Want the freedom of movement, want to be able to ignore the Shadow Shaman and part of things. Sure. It's not the most obvious BKB game when you look at it. I don't have that many disables on the Dire, but might be worth it. I think other teams and other players, perhaps in this position, would be prioritizing something like Force Staff and stat items. If the could end up paying off. They definitely countered Cuckoo, no doubt.
Oh yeah. This is going to be a smoke.
Step lively now. Your admiral is
Bettbom. 20-minute mark. That means Army available very shortly.
And 23 Savage beat a the game.
Looks like
just
it.
Free. Huh. I would have thought that this would be something you would want to control and fight for, but they might have just blundered it. Or worried about giving the 5-on-5 to controlled circumstances.
They get the good shard.
Yeah, level 4 Brain Sap AoE now. But generally have access to Brain Sapping multiple units in fights. The Lycan Wolves.
Yeah, that is true.
Keep you alive that little bit longer. This is actually helpful against that specific hero because the way Lycan kills you is by overwhelming you with just numbers. Wolves are insane. Why do these wolves have 925 HP?
The wolves are absurd. They are completely absurd.
A little bit of everything on them.
It's going to be the new age Nature's Prophet, level 25 talent.
Oh yeah, give the wolves fortified armor.
So when you get shard, like it's the same shard, right? You get that random wolf that goes down lanes. I assume get the level 6, but can you activate? You can't control the creep, but can you activate on it?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you can't. It has level of Feral Impulse, right? I remember it, and it has cripple for the towers, but that's it.
Wolves. Always
Very
How much are these
annoying.
worth, actually? Was that 57?
51, I think.
Okay. And the Nature's Prophet one was 25, was that right?
Too little.
I remember when it was 12 gold or something. It's like literally not worth the effort. All right, so Talon now have the double BKB, although Makoto is 700-ish away from his, so
Dire's middle tower is
likely
under
to wait
attack.
for that, and then that's a pretty gigantic power spike for them.
They're taking their time with Nobar. Going to AC. What if you wanted Nullifier earlier against this Pugna? This is very good news for Save. It gives him a clear big impact play. Of course, he will be busy fighting wolves for all eternity,
Yeah.
but he lives. Being annoying.
Historically speaking, especially the old days, Pugna and Bane would hate these wolves, but
Oh, yeah.
they've gotten a lot better. Especially Bane with Shard, like we talked about. Gokum spotted.
There's a lot of BKBs right now. Changes the game quite a bit. BKB Kunkka, BKB E, BKB Lycan, BKB
Makoto's
the two.
gold away, so they definitely don't want to fight yet.
Yeah, he's about to get it from this double ancient stack. Just works his way through it.
WS, X marks, they're gonna black hole him. They have the damage, yes sir.
A 5-kill streak, that's a big kill. Could be Roche, maybe. Not the fastest Roche team, but if you use Exo, pretty fast.
And they have tentacle guy in there. What the hell his name is?
Roshan.
Oh, it dies instantly. Worthless creep.
Yoka might
Gokum.
fancy his chances here. He knows it's pretty low because of the wolf.
It's gotta be perfect here. He jumps in, uses it. Oh, he's not the Ajax!
God.
Jokum! God! What a play! He's gonna use it right away. He's coming in, and he's up in 10 seconds. The Battle Strike onto 2 with the Wukong's command to follow. It's 23 Savage showing off that newly picked up BKB. He's able to get the GBK's actually really healthy. That's on the outskirts of the Wukong's command. Still no kills for Talon, despite the amazing initiation. They're gonna be able to cancel the TP onto GPK. So 2 kills go the way of Talon, and they snatch the Aegis. Jokum. Play.
What a beast. This guy on Slark, man.
Wouldn't have been able to do that without the wolves, of course. That is such a benefit.
It's so big to steal this, in particular in a game where the enemy team has this archetype lineup, right? This is the one that I totally want to think about breaking potentially tier 3 with this one. And now they get delayed.
I realized the full grip onto Makoto. That's why they couldn't really follow it up with too much damage at first. But still, ends up working out quite well for Talon.
Oh, that's great for them. No doubt. Sure, burn the Aegis, they don't care.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
All this is happening. 23 Savage gets to outfarm everybody on the map. 301 CS, minute 25 on a Razor.
Yeah.
High tempo about to get Sanjay and Yasha now.
Now there's going to be a large set. I mean, the Aegis was used right away, so this is going to be a long period of time before the next Roche.
Except perhaps in
I feel like with every passing minute, it favors Talon more and more. And I'm saying that in spite of them being against Enigma, one of the late game beasts, but lineup of the Radiant gets hard to play later on. And my biggest concern for them is damage when late game comes around on the Radiant side. Can you actually kill really fat cores that have Satanic and the like when you're running DP mid and a Kunkka carry?
Yeah, if I'm wrong here, because things don't age well all the time, but Death Prophet doesn't typically scale that well into the late game. Pugna, once you get Nullifier, falls off a lot. Bane's Fiend's Grip, the thing, and they talked about.
Death Prophet is better than too, but I would definitely not put her in the category of, say, something Monkey King late game. I think there's just a bit of a numbers game that does not
I mean, looking at Talon's live, he's just in a pub game. Oh, they picked 4 carries, you know?
Yeah.
Late game dotes. They will scale very well.
Yeah, this could be a lineup that Quinn can play with his 5-man stack in low priority.
He's been a bad boy lately, it seems.
I hear those games.
Haven't you heard? Pro players can't go in low priority syndrome.
Yeah. I guess it's even worse. Not only did low, but telling him he's not a pro anymore. Absolute savagery from Valve. Uncalled for, in my opinion. Bottom tower. It's a goner. In spite of everything that's happened, this is not an unsalvageable game for Bettbom, but it definitely is concerning to see just ahead the Razor is pulling 23 Savage.
They're still not going Nullifier.
Peculiar. Well, just did after AC.
Okay. That's still way away.
Save.
They will find Pugnut. Guess they don't need Nullifier if he's just dead. Kodo getting close to finishing the full S and Y. And there he could probably just start going some really late game damage items.
He is going Nullifier before he changed it up. Oh, so it will be next. Helm is purchased and
It's not just a casual helm, you know.
Yeah.
I can love that.
Just 500 off, so this will be
Kodo. I think GPK. So you beat treat as well.
DKB if you will.
Great one.
We'll be here all week.
I'm stuck with you.
And last week.
Bounty.
A long turn.
Radiant must summon the spirit to defend the top tower.
A lot of brain rot. Those cannibal islands really lower your IQ.
Yeah, I'll say Jenkins hasn't been helping my well-being. Of course, the very famous scriptwriter of the show Cannibal Island, as well as the upcoming video game Relic Arena. He's behind that one as well.
Be sure to wishlist that.
Yeah.
On Steam now.
Of course, yeah. Don't wishlist another season of Cannibal Island. Make sure the viewer numbers get some really bad.
Yeah, if you wishlist Relic Arena, there's going to be less Cannibal Islands. I can promise you that. It's actually a great incentive.
Yeah. Wishlisting it right now. God.
On AC, that was for so they got one of their own. And where's the Shivas? And they're in. Buys that one. Oh, Yule's going to counteract this X play potentially. No.
Well, you definitely want Shiva eventually in DP in this game.
Yeah,
without it.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's next on the docket here.
I didn't even realize he went Ags. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that one. Remember when it first came out years ago, it looked ridiculously good as, Kataomi gonna get healed up by Save. Very nicely done. The Shackle and Serpent Ward's placed on top of GPK. Looks like the Ross is gonna pay the ultimate price for the 23 Savage. Getting a nice static link. Pops the BKB of his own, but he's getting pretty low as GPK's Exorcism is going ham. But the Death Strap saving Savage. Support trades for now as GPK falls. And now Talon can overrun the lineup of Bettbom. They get 3, they lose 1. Depth Shroud is ridiculous.
I don't think Talon are getting slogged the rest of the tournament, actually. I think this is the last game a team is going to give it to them.
Radiant's middle
Just too much.
tower
Jokum's
is under
owning.
attack.
He's doing so much work in these games on the Slark. It's ridiculous. Another clutch fight from him, getting the tip from 23 Savage. And in addition, Miaro never found a black hole opening there. I'm not sure if he kept getting cancelled by the wolves or if there just wasn't a good angle. They didn't get to put him to use.
Yeah, this might be a game where potentially you go Shadow Blade.
Yeah.
To get off a good blink black hole.
It's currently queuing up Midas. I would advise against that one. I think that's maybe a little bit too ambitious.
No way.
After his BKB, he has Midas in the quick buy.
No way, dude. There's no way that's good.
No.
Maybe this is just, I'm angry. We're losing.
Yeah, but Biero, though?
I know. Yeah, that's true. If it was any other player, I would say that.
Shard for the wolf, man.
Hell yeah. Let's take a look at the next wolf to spawn here.
Yep. 10 seconds.
Is it top, middle, or bottom? Let's take a bet here.
All right, I'm going to say it's mid.
Damn it, I was...
And now you have to pick another lane. Quick!
Bottom.
Okay.
It's right here. Trust. Damn it.
Yeah, it is top. Good job.
All right, now...
It's top. That's one of his own. The one we're looking at right now. It has cripple and it has
top.
It has cripple and hamstring. No hightail.
It doesn't go in.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't.
Why is it so slow?
They never did.
Oh, I don't know.
It has hamstring though, which I did not know, because that's obviously the level 5 wolves thing. So it has hamstring, but not hightail, because you can't control it.
I'll take that.
Right.
It can cripple towers. Well, that's another little issue that Bettbom have to deal with.
Oh, they find the Monkey King. That's a big one for Bettbom.
Oh.
But still, at a massive deficit. It's a full minute to play with, though.
Push fast. I think they take mid tower off of this.
And Chokum upgraded to Wind Waker, by the way.
Yeah, nice against Black Hole.
Yeah, it's insanely good. It's just typically you don't see that as the one main item on the hero.
Yeah.
Usually you fill it out a bit more.
His inventory looks funny. He's got Wind Waker and Blood Grenade.
Yeah, that Blood Grenade is going to
Not very often you see these items in the same on the same screen.
Yeah, this is one of those. Guess what bracket we're in?
At the moment, he's going to buy a recipe for his last slot. It's pitiful watching him try to kill the Centaur with the greedy Essence Ring. He hits for 40 damage. Did finally kill it off. Exciting stuff.
That's how he afforded the Wind Waker.
Yep.
Being greedy.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And you can tell Bettbom they're just waiting around for Roche.
Yeah, they need this badly.
Will be spawning
10
soon,
seconds.
but now that Monkey King is up, can they go for it?
They're also going to be paranoid. There's a lot of stuff you don't see when you watch both teams Fog of War the whole time, but Bettbom have to constantly deal with feeling that they're being watched. Slark plus Lycan Wolves is super annoying when you're behind.
93 Savage with Refresher. Double BKB, double Satanic.
Yeah, he doesn't die outside of Black Hole. I don't think it's possible.
They're going to smoke up now. The Wolves giving some vision.
Oh, this is no
good in for Bettbom. Goes 23 Savage, just going to walk right in. Already at half HP. Ross is going to pay the price here as Makoto does get off ult on the Monkey King. Doesn't really find the connections though. GP now static linked, and there's the refresher from 23 Savage. Double ult, but as the Ghost Tester, oh my god, evaporates.
That's a boundless.
And now into the Roach Pit they go. They have the double ult going for 23 Savage. There's the Nullifier. That is a lot of damage.
And they're going to get AC off of this as well. Lycan almost has the gold for put Aegis onto Makoto. He almost has his Nullifier too, so we'll have 2 of them.
Shan Banner just trash pick.
Don't need that garbage. Save will get killed off. Wolves plus Shadow Shaman. We finally got to see it. And actually kill this support with just the Shaman plus 2 wolves.
That's insane, man. That is insane. And Kiritich looks like, oh, it is Daedalus first.
Yeah, they need damage, right? As we talked about it, they struggle to kill these heroes, but it feels like it's too little, too late. There's just so many things that need to align for Bettbom to be able to win this game at this point. They need to constantly struggle with vision. They need to make sure they find a black hole in spite of being scouted. They have to get it on the right heroes at the right time, and on top of that, they have damage issues. Feels, for all intents and purposes, like checkmate at this point, but Enigma can make those magical moments if the enemy overextends in your base, but that's kind of what you're hoping for at this point.
He's going for Ags on Miero, apparently.
Yeah, he needs more damage.
They don't really have a way to cancel the black hole under the BKB, right?
Yeah.
There's no Abyssal. I mean, that would be a Lycan item, typically.
Illusion.
But even with the Abyssal, you'd have to be in position to do so. Serpent Ward trapped, and 23 Savage has the static link. GPK melts 6 deaths for him.
You might be able to force high ground with this. You have Aegis and you killed a big core. You just need to not stack for Black Hole. Start poking with the Lycan.
Feels bad that they have a Shiva still. I mean, it's obviously not going to be the difference maker, but I just don't get the Ags.
No, me neither.
For Death
Not on
Prophet.
board with this one. I agree 100%. I think
I feel like
Shivas must have been better this game.
Generally speaking, this is one of the more underwhelming Ags in the game now, I would say. Bottom 25%.
Yeah, and it's also... I'm not so sure about GPK's item build in general, because this is what current Death Prophet tends to do a lot, is go for this Witchblade build-up. But recognizing exactly what type of game this is, you might have been better off building a little bit more defensively. Not sure. He's regretting his choices now. But also one of those cases where you have a plan in mind of how this game is meant to go. You start your item build, and then obviously when you are building your Witchblade, you're committed and things went wrong. You can't just, you know, pretend it didn't happen and sell your item for full value and get another one. You're kind of in there. But he definitely had the choice to pivot away from Ags. That happened late enough into the game that he could tell he was behind, so maybe Shivas would have been the better choice there. 25,000 lead.
Yeah, it's massive.
Is that why?
So 2 minutes on the Aegis. They have all the outer towers.
Joke him now with the blink, so he will always be able to get in range to save people with Depth Shroud, with Wind Waker.
Self-exile.
Yeah, that's for himself only. Imagine you could cast this on allies.
Yeah, that would be Book of the... What was that called?
Book of Shadows?
Book of Shadows, yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, a worse version.
That item was crazy. Absolutely bonkers.
As tier 5 should be, Synerin.
Yeah. Remember when Grimstroke came out and that was his basic spell? The first Ink Swell. Oh my god. That spell was something else.
I barely remember that.
Yeah. It was effectively Book Shadows on allies. So you made them untargetable as they were running in.
Yeah.
They couldn't attack and they were silenced, but they were untargetable and they would explode. You just put it on a Weaver or, you know, whatever melee core. They just run in, stun people, and then they pop all their stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty redonk.
That was insane. I think the numbers were also better on the damage from the tendrils. Just did so much.
Doesn't look like they're going to push with this Aegis then.
I don't have to. They must be feeling like they're gaining 1k GPM. They have the whole map. Putting their heroes out nicely. Taking the space, and they know for Bettbom how difficult it is. This is the thing. When you're this far behind, usually the way you get back into the game as Radiant is you make a team smoke and you try to find a team fight that you win. The problem is getting out on the map unnoticed against this Slark and the Lycan Wolves. When the waves are constantly pushing in, you have to give away some sort of information all the time.
Look at the Wolves. They're just on patrol. Just constantly running around.
A bolt of pain from the blue.
We'll see if Bettbom have enough time to get this Divine on Karatich, but quite a ways away. Now that the Aegis is gone, Talon, 23 Savage specifically, he got rid of his boots and now has Swift Blink. He is fully 6-slotted. Still could go for, I mean, Aghanim Scepter here is excellent since you have Refresher as well anyway. I haven't seen Shard that much on Razor since they tweaked it a while back. As the smoke now, technically from both sides, but Bettbom, full team.
Yeah.
And this feels like a do or die for them.
You need to not run into Slark here. It's the most important way to start. Makoto.
And Makoto would be a nice kill. There's a tree now, though. A little harder to find.
And every passing second, this becomes more and more obvious that Bettbom are doing this. They've shown 0 heroes on the map for half a minute now, and yeah, this smoke is just not going to find anything. Now top and mid are going to push in, so they have to go back.
Especially with that Lycan Wolf. Each wave, Synderen.
That's up.
One of 3 waves. Every little bit counts, and now the smoke from Talon. Bettbom in their base. No, the smoke has failed.
They burnt the Crimson, the tower, so if any fight were to break out, they won't have the Crimson Guard. But They're gonna hide in base. Complete chokehold. Well, Ketaomi tried.
Yeah, they jump right on him. Delete him. GPK. Can he get to the force field? He's stun locked and dead. 2 out of the fight for Bettbom. They have the buybacks, but they lose a third member, and now Talon gonna force those buybacks. 23 Savage. Yes, poking at the high ground. One buyback from Ketaomi. Talon resetting, it seems. So they're not happy with that buyback.
Yeah, it's another 5,000 gold. Not bad.
Yeah, they don't have the Lycan ult. So they'll play it safe. Oh, they get the grip though on the high ground. Miero, Midnight Pulse as well. Boat is coming. That Monkey King is dead, and now the black hole onto the pesky Slur dead as well. Cuckoo getting caught off guard. Gets the force staff to the other side. They get the X. 3 pickoffs for Bettbom. A little bit sloppy for Talon.
Yeah, a rare slip up there for this game for Talon. They separated a bit too much, so Slark couldn't get in there and save the Monkey King fast enough. He tried to blink over for the depth shroud, didn't get in range. Then he got black hold. Then Cuckoo tries to help him. Then he gets caught. Well, that was the 5k gold they just gained. They just lost it immediately. But they still have the buyback down, which is big. A little slip up there.
We're 43 minutes in. We talked about Bettbom's pushing. They don't have a single tier 2 yet.
That's kind of ridiculous. This was the point of their lineup.
Yeah.
Obviously going to play it out till the bitter end. Cuckoo will get a shard. Better foul play. Early Roche spawn. About 20 seconds off for this. If Bettbom were on, if they were in the pit when it spawned, they might actually be able to get this, and that would be massive for them. You don't want to give this Aegis over to Mikoto.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, the two are not sure when the Roche is spawning, so with this lack of information, they will have to give it away. Now, if they had TA Shannon, they would be killing this Roche.
Very true. Was it banned?
If they had, well, do you even have to ask that question?
Right.
If TA was in the game, this game would have played out completely differently because it would have had a TA, and therefore it would have won.
I see.
All right.
That's how it works, huh?
Pretty much TLDR, really. Roaching time for Talon. They're going to clear the perimeter first, but it is clearly what's on their minds with how they're moving their heroes around right now. WS is going to get started on the big boy.
23 Savage, level 28, by the way.
Arcane Blink on Kunkka.
Huh.
That is not normally.
Huh. Well, he can actually get Rapier, so he has Rapier technically. It takes apart his Radiance.
Oh, well, okay, I take it back. We have seen Satanic do this. He went Arcane Blink in this crazy defense game they had with 2 Rapiers, 2 Daedalus.
But you get extra distance on it, and you gain HP and mana each time you use it, and it's lower cooldown.
Significantly lower cooldown, which is the big part.
I mean, it's an insane item that I think is very underutilized generally.
It's the only way to make your Blink lower cooldown than X mark, right? So that means every X mark you will have your Blink for it. Otherwise, the regular Blink Dagger cooldown is 15 seconds and X mark is 12. So with this one, you can constantly X push out. We've arrived at that point now. Desperation mode for Bettbom.
Do you think they're going to miss the Radiance at all at this stage when he takes it apart?
No, not anymore.
It's lost its luster.
I mean, it's still useful, but it doesn't matter nearly as much as it did 20 minutes ago. Joe can actually ult team there.
GPK still working on that Shivas. Finish it, I believe, but I mean the buyback situation obviously pretty important.
Yeah.
That is one thing. Obviously, if you get caught off without Exorcism, the buyback less valuable, but with Ags, your spells do pack a little bit more of a punch. It's waiting for Talon to commit to the high ground so he can take apart the Divine. I mean, they've clearly seen his inventory, so this is not going to be a surprise. They're just going to play under the impression that he already has it. He's the main one getting farm now, though, which is maybe a bit of an issue. The only one that can get out of his base safely. They're so starved. 33K. Lead for Talon. Aegis, Cheese. There's a refresher shard, but it's in the backpack of Makoto, so we'll wait for the Aegis to be consumed and then have the double BKB and another Wukong's to work with. He is 25 now, by the way, so he has the bigger Wukong's.
It's going to help them push. Thinking about what Jokum will buy next. I think there's some interesting potential angles here. One would be Abyssal Blade, Blink stop Black Hole. You can get Refresher. You have 2 depth routes against Black Holes. You have 2 Wind Wakers. I think Refresher is overall the safer choice, and I don't know if there's anything better for him to buy. But
Roche's banner has arrived.
They're getting started. Talon special, put the banner and don't push. Just let the wave do its job.
Yep. Another wave coming in. There's the Serpent Wards as well. Singard activated. Cuckoo goes in with a BK, trying to find a connection. Can't find anything outright, but Makoto gets it. Hold up, but there's the Black Hole onto 2 heroes. You get the Yules off in time onto the Razor. Makoto, he gets death stratted, but he actually dies through the cleaves. GPK gets credit for that one in the end. And now, Talon have to be careful. They've lost their Razor. He buys back. Nightmare now onto the Lycan. Is this a reset, or is this a continue?
They have to continue. They forced 2 Black Holes. I'm not sure they recognized that Miero's second one got instantly canceled. I think he got bashed by Monkey King as he cast it, which would be ridiculously unlucky. That is what it looked like.
Out of range of the melee barracks is just really unfortunate for Talon. Roche banner falls, and they're going to fully retreat. My goodness, what a hold, despite being down 30+ K on the Bettbom side. Watch this again, then.
Just look at the Enigma here. If the second Black Hole goes off, you crush this fight.
So there's Black Hole 1. It was a good one.
Makoto.
Your admiral is on board.
Refresher.
He gets bashed.
Yeah, I guess
while he's casting it.
Wow.
So it also went on cooldown. That is so unlucky.
But it's definitely possible. I mean, you can barely see that that's happening. So Talon might not know, which is why they backed up.
This is
power of Enigma, man.
Yep.
And the Divine, of course. That Divine shredded 23.
Yeah, he can afford a second one.
And Tidal Wave will be really nice, too.
Yeah, so you can mess up your Black Holes. Some good synergy right there.
As long as they communicate, you know.
That's hard to do in the heat of the moment. I think he'd be better off not buying it, to be honest.
Really?
At this point.
Really? No way that's true.
Okay, let's put it this way. There's more important stuff to buy. The second Rapier and having buyback gold is way more important.
100 gold, Cinderin.
Yeah.
Even if you just get 1 kill with it. It's very possible. Just don't use it when there's 2 or more heroes in the area. It's not that hard. Oop.
Yeah. What's Kiritich doing?
He's dancing a jig.
All right.
See if he opts for the second Rapier.
Can we get up the longest game of the tournament tracker here? How far are we off? 45 minutes?
Yeah, usually we see these ridiculous defenses when they're already mega'd.
Yeah.
Not the case here. But if Bettbom get caught off guard just a bit, Talon will absolutely destroy their base in seconds.
I think Talon won't try anything for 5 minutes. They're going to wait for Razor's buyback plus Aegis before they do anything again. Doesn't favor them to brute force this. Step by step can make the progress that they need. This isn't about getting 1 lane of barracks. No. Either you get the whole thing or you win a big team fight. That's what matters.
Not so safe harbor, eh?
Oh, Bettbom are gonna leave their base. Here we go. On the prowl.
And Miero.
Step lively.
He has double Black Hole again.
Yep. There still is a refresher shard on the Monkey King, and Jokum is indeed going to buy a refresher orb on Slark, but quite a ways to go for that still.
Oh, he's a tree.
This is such a good smoke break from Makoto. Oh, they find him, but didn't hit the torrent. Yeah, you could just tell Bettbom the moment their smoke breaks, panic just sets in. Insta back. I mean, no way to commit
let's
into
say
that.
Bettbom's able to defend for a good amount of time.
Radiant must summon the
Are they relying on some sort of team wipe into buybacks, retreat, and then try again? Or can they also win outright? Their push is not the same as Talon.
No.
Like, Exo has a really long cooldown. Pugna, I mean, at this stage, it's good poke.
Back
Jokum.
so soon.
Shadow Dance to retreat.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
It's an interesting hypothetical to consider for a team that hasn't crossed the river for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe someday we'll get to see the other side. Our hair is greener on the other side always. Don't know so much about the dire half of the map, though. I think the Radiant one's a bit greener, but, you know.
Depends on your perspective, of course.
Yeah, your perspective of whether green is actually green or a different color.
Well, green can mean not literal, you know.
No, it can't. Hex. Onto Lycan. Another way to perhaps initiate. I mean, do you start considering like Eon Discs now? Do you get more Wind Wakers? Do you get an Abyssal to stop the Enigma somehow? There are options for what you could do here at the side of
if you
Talon.
can try to force out like a Lincoln's purchase from the arrow. Like right now, he's not threatened at all once the BKB is up. We wait for the next Roche. We wait for the buyback onto 23. Those will likely not align.
Step lively
Unless it's
now.
a very
Your
late
admiral is on
Roche.
board.
He's level 30 perma-hasted. His movement speed.
Nice.
He's actually above haste when his Storm Surge procs.
It's a second plasma field now as well.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on
Yeah,
board.
Cuckoo get a little bored.
I was like, no, it's just Jokum, man. You know, you literally you could just stand somewhere to break smokes. And he's owning by doing this. Just place yourself in a corner and wait.
How late did they draft the Slark?
First pick.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. This
So
might
now
become a ban.
first phase ban. Wow, that's pretty powerful.
I mean, this guy must be a god at the hero to win his Lycan lane.
Yeah, true. That was, man, that was insane. Imagine if that did not go that way.
I would say if the lanes in this game go according to at least my expectation, this would not have looked like this at this point for Talon. The bottom lane should have not gone this well. I really think so. But
Step lively
Talon
now.
are smoked up. No
Your admiral
GPK is in the area. Jokum shows himself. Yeah.
hopping around.
Actually, it's a pretty late Roche. It's about to spawn, so ends up aligning okay with 23's buyback. It's fine. About a minute or two off. He's continuing to farm despite having every item imaginable.
You know, they bought the Wind Waker now. It's cost him a lot of movement speed.
What did he get rid of? SNY?
Step lively
Put his
now.
travels
Your
2 in his
admiral is on
backpack.
board.
I mean, he has enough movement speed for a fight. He's got, is it 440 he's running around on without boots?
And Roche will be taken out. We hit the 55-minute mark. Pretty epic game number 3. This is easily the best game of the day. Doesn't take much, though.
And it's ironic because of how polarizing this game was set out to be.
Yeah, for sure.
This was a game where we thought, okay, if Bettbom get things their way, they're going to run it down and crush the lanes and then into a base push at 25 minutes. If they don't and it gets too late, it gets really awkward, but probably too difficult. And here we are with an intermediary where they never took a tier 2 tower with the pushing lineup and are playing a 1-hour game on defense. So, complex game. A lot of things can happen. Heritage actually opting to save his rapier in stash instead of running double.
Okay.
So he will buy back and immediately have a second one.
Step
Maybe when he
lively
can
now.
afford a
Your
third one,
admiral
he'll
is on board.
start carrying 2. I'm not sure.
Well, at what point can he one-shot someone? Do the math. 2100 HP on the Slark.
Yeah, they have pretty low armor.
The Rasta, how does the innate work? You can't die, right?
No, unless if he's broken or
Right, so it's
yeah, if he's
basically
broken.
so Slark is like the only one you could theoretically one-shot.
Yeah, I think so. Oh,
they
now you have me questioning. No, you can't overkill stuff. No, you can't.
yeah, I don't think it, because you're always on 1 HP, right? So
Doesn't work like a bad one.
All right, Talon with all the goodies that Roche has in his bowels. See what they can work with.
You can see Kiritich was scouting out the tree line here, anticipating Mikoto would be there. He was right.
Yep, he is. Miero is gonna get right on top of him. Miero's just gonna black hole though. They're gonna run into the black hole. He tries the death strike, but it's not gonna happen. Life number 1 down. Another black hole to come for Miero. As the Monkey King will spawn after the foul. Gonna take the melee barracks. No, they will not. As Pugna forcing the Monkey King back. Vacation popped. Serpent wards. Not going to be enough to claim the barracks.
I knew it. I knew it. Ironically, Joachim trying to save there was worse than doing nothing. And I was like, he's going to buy Aetherlands, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he is. He's giving up on the refresher.
All right.
He was not able to save there. Now he will be with this item. It's easy to have hindsight in a situation like that.
Oh, Cuckoo. All right. Refreshes. Serpent Wars, they get the barracks.
Wow.
We talked about how this is not really that valuable.
It really is.
At 57.5 minutes.
Doesn't matter.
That's 1 lane.
It's the mental part, though. Is that you're feeling like you're getting closer to the victory. Might be more valuable than you think.
Right.
Just a little bit of a morale boost there. Cuckoo's like, guys, I got the racks.
Hell yeah.
And everybody clapped. And that Rax's name was Albert Einstein.
Tower almost dead in the top lane.
Now the walls are starting to...
Ooh, Aghanim Scepter. All right, so we're going to be biting some Monkey King or Razor.
Yep.
Very nice. Has not consumed it.
We're going to be backpacking it for now.
Yeah, I think he's saving for buyback still, as we're going to see the Ags on Bane. We're getting to extreme late game scenario. A 0 and 9 Bane with an Aghanim Scepter. This is where having 0 Lincolns, I believe, is potentially going to bite them.
It's really difficult for Talon in this game right now. Feels like they need to itemize themselves out of additional trouble. Maybe some tier 5 neutrals can help.
We're getting there.
Thinking about maybe some Book of the Dead, just step by step. I know the pushing isn't what it was before, but you just need more garbage that slowly whittles down buildings. APK has finally hit level 25, minute 59.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Blow me over. Radiant's top tower has
Extra
fallen.
exo spirits.
Oh, Miro. BKBs. Jokum going to be laughing.
Yeah, he really wanted this kill. This was a guy without buyback, so perhaps this could have opened up the map for Bettbom a little bit, but Joachim quick on the fingers, reacts in time.
Step lively now. Your admiral
Mission
is
failed
on
from Miero. Now, he didn't cast the black hole, so he still has 2 of them, but one of them would be without BKB if this fight were to break out. Probably won't, though. Joachim trying to break a smoke that wasn't used. Tier 5s.
Yes, sir.
The time cometh.
Bettbom can't. Going for the denial of the ward. He'll get it. Wind Waker's away. God, what an annoying hero. He's level 25 now. What even is it 25 talent of this hero? Shadow Dance duration. Oh my god. Second. 0.25 seconds. Well, Miero taking advantage of a little bit of space to get some neutrals. It's going to take them a bit. But enough for the tier 5 crafting. And Talon. I mean, that has to be the plan, to try to starve them out.
Take that.
Get all the tier 5s for you, and then try to take advantage of that before they can fully complete them. Oh my god, we're gonna see this one again, huh? Divine Regalia on to 23 Savage, so 20% extra damage. If you die, you lose the item. Becomes broken. Oh, they're gonna get the hack. Okay, this will be a huge kill. Wukong's command from Mikoto, but Black Hole available, and Kiritich is here. They get the Wind Waker to try to mitigate a little bit of damage. They're gonna get the grip on top of the Monkey King, though. Down goes Mikoto, and now the Black Hole, 23 Savage. believe, is Kiritich able to finish the job, and look at how low Talon are. They get 2 kills at the cost of the Monkey King. Your Savage ready to go back in, though. The blink available.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, Exo's down. Black holes are down.
And 23 Savage, he still doesn't have the Aghanim Scepter, so the buildings don't melt that fast to him.
Working on it now.
What a crazy game. Finally gets the Ags. So a second Divine Regalia on WS. So somewhat risky here from them. Gets the one with the 40 attribute bonus, while 23 Savages is attack range and cast range.
No one should be under any illusions.
And a Fallen Sky onto Jokum, no surprise. Making it even more annoying somehow to go for him. Makoto with Helm of the Undying, which I think is the best item, personally.
If you die in Wukong's command with Helm of the Undying, does it keep going?
If you say it again?
If you die in your ring.
Oh, yeah, it should. Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Late game.
It's got to be good, right?
If that actually works, that's crazy.
Spider legs on Cuckoo. So they have all 5 tier 5s, and so far, 0 on the side of Bettbom. This is the time to pounce if you're Talon, especially with the Enigma only having 1 black hole in 15 seconds, although it's not that far away for the refresher, honestly. He just bites somebody, I believe so. Trying to pounce. There's the Wukong's command, going for the buildings. Makoto gets the range. Comes in guard. Torrent is going to connect. Kiritich, I don't even think he got a hit off there. It gets disarmed, perhaps, and that's going to be another lane for Talon.
All right.
Radiant's top barracks have
Better plan than before, I'll tell you that.
How much do you think Megas matter in this game?
I mean, it matters, but it's not the game winner for sure. It matters when you have a Rasta that has refresh. Wait, does he? Oh, that was a refresher shard that he had, I guess. That's by 1,000 cuts is the plan for Talon. The thing is, they have to. What's that?
With a dull knife.
Yeah, so it seems. And a bite, I suppose.
Yeah. Death by 1,000 stirring spoons, more like it.
I mean, you have constant pressure from wolves.
Oh, that wolf! Stop the wolf! They got him.
40k lead for Talon does not feel like it is a deso. Gym, that is.
At this point, the gold also doesn't matter that much anymore. It's about whether you can solve the problems with creativity. And I shouldn't say the gold doesn't. It depends who the gold goes on. If Jokum farms up a refresher, for example, I think that would be very, very valuable. He should just be hitting creeps right now on the Slark. Instead of the Razor farming an additional 9th item, I think you should give Slark his 3rd. Might be a good idea.
.23 Savage backpacking Boots of Travel 2 and Wind Waker. Has an Eon Disc and is now going for Moonshard. And I think after that, surely there's nothing else you can build. Maybe a backpack Abyssal. When would you backpack it though?
No, I don't know what he could buy.
Your admiral is on board.
This Aeon Disc is really good though.
Oh, there's the Abyssal.
Yeah.
That's the Blink as well. And
yeah, WS can stop Black Hole now.
WS is fully 6 slotted.
Oh, Yarrow's going
count the Ag.
E-Blade. He might have to pivot this to the Lincolns we talked about. Jokum. Doing Jokum things.
All right, GPK, Divine Regalia. Seems to be the item of choice for everyone, yeah.
You saw how much damage his ghosts did in the previous fight. This is really meaningful.
And this is the Roche where you can take him over with the, okay, Cuckoo. Serpent Wards. Gonna force the rotation back with the Wolves, whose tower's dead. Brings good amount of damage to the range as well, which will not regen. Now another Roche in the hands of Talon. As Kunkka continuing to buy items.
Oh, he's got a nullifier now.
They'll never see me coming.
So they can break the Eon Disc of Razor as well as a potential Wind Waker play. just being a nuisance to the Enigma that they just Wind Waker the guy they black hole, so they're counter-itemizing the counter-itemization. Very important.
Back to port.
Roshan smoked. Looking for a target to throw. Excuse me, invis, not smoked.
A very powerful Roshan. Maybe that'll catch him off guard. Helm of the Undying on the Monkey King. This could be very powerful.
Keeps playing as the Roche. It's like no benefit. He's just having fun. Oh, whatever it takes to keep morale high and the energy up there.
Yep, it's not like you can take a shower in the middle of the game.
True.
Cuckoo jumps in. Oh, he gets gripped right off the bat to the left. The counter Yules. Comes command now from Makoto. Black hole. It's not going to hit anything, it looks like. That's a soldier. He's going to try again. The double. He gets the pull to the last part. Get it off. The black hole finally goes up onto two very important targets. The Lycan extremely low. Debstrat actually saves it. Now 23 status. Going ham on everyone. To make it 3 dead. They get the megas. And now in retreat, the Divine Rapiers drop to the deck. They're picking them up. Kiritich, I believe, picks up one. Joka might have gotten the other.
Ah, yes, the classic X mark to save Rapier. See it every game. Wow.
Kiritich, okay, let's keep track of this. He has one Rapier.
I think 23 just did 8,000 damage in 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was absurd.
He genuinely just destroyed them both instantly.
So, Slark picks up one.
Yeah, I'm not going to use
exactly
it for
a right
anything.
click. Yeah.
Dagon now on the Pugna. Kill the wolves.
So now Mega creeps. Or Talon, I think.
There's no black holes. I feel like you could try to squeeze more out of this situation.
Yeah,
it looks like they will. Through their damnedest. They're still going to be the Fiend's Grip.
Waiting for the bite onto the Monkey King. The Divine Rapier purchased by Kiritich. Makoto. Oh, Hex from Cuckoo into the Shackle. It's the buyback onto the Death Prop. They have another one on the Enigma as well. As Kiritich gets a decent hit onto the Monkey King Wolf. Slept as well. There's the buyback onto the Enigma.
And they get clean disengaged. Very nicely done here from Talon to force that out. Now with a 71,000 gold advantage. I don't know if I've ever said that before in my life.
Yes, we have. We've done 100,000 before.
We have?
Yeah.
Might have passed out during that game. Maybe you said it. Okay. Progress for Talon. They get megas, they get buybacks. Long respawn on Roche though.
Lively now. Your
Double Divine back for Kiritich.
Refresher and refresher.
Welcome
Jokum
back.
actually would rather not have this in his slot, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels cool.
So Talon, in a 70-minute game, you wait for the refreshers for sure. You wait for Roche. The Divine Regalia, we should mention, since it was picked up on 3 players, GPK's is finished. And in terms of rebuilding one, he can start doing that now, but it's going to take twice as many stones or mad stones, where the hell it's called.
He needs to kill 10 neutral camps himself, which is he's struggling to get to 1. So good luck with that. Keep in mind, he was one of only 2 heroes in their team that even has had 1 yet.
Yeah.
The other 3 are close to 1 each. 23 Savage setting what I believe could be maybe the 2nd highest CS of the tournament.
What does he have?
1,212. They obviously had the 90-something minute game, probably had more, I would imagine.
Talon, looks like they want to maybe make something happen here. Obviously, Miero is the top priority. And in terms of buybacks, he does not have it.
Smoke,
so.
wolf bite. All right, it's go time.
Yes, it is.
They have double serpent wards with the refresher.
Oh, yeah.
You can black hole all the heroes, but somebody has to destroy the wards.
Makoto showing himself. There is the Wukong's command. Serpent wards, both placed by the Talon, going to force out the double fortification. And the grip onto the Eon disc for the Razor. The black hole number 1 onto 2. Trying to get away. Their second one onto the same 2 heroes. Are they actually kills. They get one in the Razor, and there's the Helmet of the Undying, but another Wukong command can come. They're actually just going to go for the Ancient. Talon making use of the Helm of the Undying to help win them game number 3. That was sick-ass game, man. Sick-ass game.
Yeah, this is the most I've seen them pop